With respect to formal periods of meditation, sitting and walking, at the beginning of each period, before trying to do anything in terms of our posture, how we're sitting, how we're standing, trying to do anything with the mind in terms of concentration or focusing, or even establishing an intention to practice meditation. Before all of that, it always helps us to notice, how does the body feel right now? Where are we starting from with respect to the body? Are we healthy or sick? Comfortable, uncomfortable? Warm, cool, heavy, light? How does the body feel? Where are there aches and pains? Where is it numb? So a conscious appreciation of the feelings of the body before trying to do anything or set any direction. Just to appreciate in this moment, whether we like it or not, whether we feel it should or shouldn't be this way, here it is. The body is exactly this way. This body, here and now, here it is, exactly 100% like this. There's no right or wrong way for the body to feel. What we're doing in this is attuning the heart to where we are starting from, the material that we're working with. So, how does the body feel right now? In the same way, what is the mood of your mind? Do you feel sleepy, energetic, feel interested, bored, happy, depressed, somewhere in the middle? Is the mind busy with all kinds of thoughts? Is it peaceful, focused? Once again, there's no right or wrong way for the mind to be. It's just an aspect of nature, just like the rain falling from the skies, landing on the forest, on these buildings. Here is the mind. We call it my mind, your mind. It's just another aspect of nature. And in this moment, it feels this way. Just like the rain falling onto the leaves, onto the roofs. It's exactly 100% this way in this moment. So this too is part of the material that we're working with, where we're starting from. Let's take a moment to appreciate fully. This is how the mind feels right now. Not right, not wrong, not good, not bad. Here it is, exactly this way. Now, even though I said without doing anything, in a sense, the very act of paying attention, being aware, being awake, is doing a thing. It's the starting point. It's the first element of the process of meditation, waking up to the present reality. Often with meditation practice, having received guidance from all kinds of ajahns, books we've read, retreats we've been on, instructions that we found in the sutta, we might have the idea, oh, I should be sitting up straight. I'm too tense, I should relax. I should be focusing my attention on my breathing. I should be letting go of distracted thoughts. I should be concentrating the mind. I'm too busy. I'm too sleepy. I need to wake up. When hearing these words, one might easily think, well, yes, those are the standard instructions. Of course, that's what I should be doing. I should be concentrated. I shouldn't be slouched over. I should be sitting up straight, but without being tense. That's how I should be. But notice how much I and me and mine is involved in that way of thinking. For most of us, unconsciously. The motivation for practicing Dhamma is heavily influenced by self-view, Sakkaya Ditthi, Tuaton. I should, I must, I've got to get rid of, I want to become, I, me and mine. So if the practice of meditation, our efforts in practicing Dhamma are based on self-view, you start with ignorance, with avijja, where do you end up? With dukkha. That's the inevitable result. If there is avijja as the basis, not seeing clearly, then the result is dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, suffering. So instead we start with vijja, the quality of awareness itself. You start off with vijja, with awakened awareness, with knowing, then the result is nibbana, peacefulness, liberation. So when we establish the intention to practice meditation, to guide the mind, the body in a skillful way, this needs to be brought into being free of self-view, free of Sakkaya Ditthi, but rather guided by mindfulness and wisdom, satipanya. Well, how does this work? What's the difference between these two? If you bring your attention into the body right now, feeling the sensations of your spine, your back. If you feel that your body is slouched over, your posture is not straight, you're in a kind of slump. Rather than then acting on the thought, oh, I'm slouching, I should sit up straight, back straight, sit up, pay attention. Rather than following those thoughts, just bring attention to that feeling of slouching, the spine bent over. Bring attention to that feeling, be aware of it. And then what happens is that the awareness has its own effect. Without you, the ego, doing anything, the system adjusts itself based upon awareness. The body straightens, the spine lengthens, grows to its own comfortable, natural limit. It's a self-adjusting system, and awareness is the motivating and guiding principle. Mindfulness and wisdom, satipanya, or awakened awareness, the vijja dhatu. These are different names for the same thing. That's what guides the process. Similarly, If you bring your attention to your spine and you realize that it's really stiff, tense, the shoulders really tight, then again, rather than thinking, oh, I'm really tense, I'm stressing, I need to relax, bring awareness to that feeling of tension. So let the awareness be brought to that, feel that, know that. Let the awareness have its own effect. And then it's recognized how the system relaxes. The body softens a little. The spine loses its tension. The body is still sitting upright, attentive, but without stressing, without tension. So it's a self-adjusting system, and awareness is the agent of integration, of balance, that which brings things together in a harmonious way. This is the puru, heart rule, the element of awareness, of knowing. This is the balancing agent. So if the practice of Dhamma is based upon self-view, it results in dukkha. But if it's based on satipanya, this quality of mindful awareness, knowing, then the result is peacefulness, ease, freedom. This can be known, seen, felt directly. This is also called Dhamma Patipada, practicing Dhamma in accordance with Dhamma, rather than its opposite, practicing Dhamma in accordance with self-view, in accordance with ego and me and mine. Dhamma Patipada. Now the mind that is not perfectly trained, that is not totally awake, we're not an arahant, then the tendency of the mind is to drift into distraction, getting lost in thought, getting busy, falling asleep, switching off, becoming dull, unconscious. These are the natural tendencies of the mind. But not everything that is natural is useful. So the practices of concentration, focusing the attention, are developed to work against those unhelpful habits of busyness and sleepiness, distraction and dullness. Once again, then there's the thought, oh, I'm falling asleep, I need to wake up, I should be more energetic, I've got to concentrate my mind on my breathing. Anapanasati is what I should be doing. Or if the mind is chasing around through memories of last week or plans after the retreat, drifting off into fantasy, oh, my mind is so busy, I've got to concentrate, focus, feel the posture, follow the breath, pay attention. In exactly the same way, if the intention to focus the mind upon the flow of the breathing, to practice anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, is based on me and mine, I should, I must, I've got to, I want, the result will be more dukkha. Even if we can get the mind to concentrate, it's also creating the causes for agitation, for dissatisfaction, for dukkha. In exactly the same way, if there is awareness of sleepiness, awareness of distraction, knowing that, feeling that, based on that quality of knowing, then the heart lets go. Lets go of the busyness, comes back to pay attention to the present. It wakes up, pulls out of those sleepy kinds of states, pays attention to the present. And out of this quality of awareness, awakened awareness, then there's a settling of the attention upon the breathing, not to get something or be someone or because the Ajahn says you should, but simply because it's a pleasant place to abide. It's something comfortable, easeful, present, not based on any kind of gaining attitude, but rather it's just, if you're driving along, stay between the white lines. You drift across the white lines, you'll end up in the oncoming traffic, or you'll be driving on the grass of the verge or falling into the ditch. It's just the comfort of staying between the white lines on the road. It's natural, unforced, comfortable. So the presence of the breath is like the white lines on the road. Stay between them and all is good. Not to get something or be someone, but simply for the sake of establishing clarity and comfort here in the present moment. So in this way, when the posture is well established, let the attention settle on the breathing. It's like driving steadily along in an unhurried way between the white lines of the road. Let the mind settle on the breathing. And when it drifts into dullness or sleepiness, or drifts into busyness, it's like drifting to the left or to the right on the road. You realize, oh, I'm off track here. Let the awareness of that drift be what encourages, informs the adjusting. If you find yourself getting annoyed with how busy your mind is and, oh, this is so useless, lost in my thoughts again, I'm really going to make an effort. Notice that feeling of frustration and turning our thoughts into an enemy or a problem. And in exactly the same way, notice that feeling of aversion, of frustration. Feel that, know that, and let the relaxation, the letting go, come from the awareness, the mindfulness of that negative state, that critical, frustrated state, rather than I should, I must. Being aware of that imbalance, the grasping and aversion, contending against our thoughts, making them a problem, an enemy. Notice that, feel that. Let the relaxation come right from your heart, come from mindfulness and wisdom, not from me doing something, me following an instruction. Or if the mind is very sleepy, find yourself drifting off, the mind shutting down, becoming dull. Again, we don't make dullness into an enemy, a problem. When you notice the mind has fallen asleep, got lost, notice that. What's the dull feeling like? Feel it, know it, be aware of that. And once again, let the awareness be the balancing agent. Being aware of that dullness, then right there, the mind is a bit more awake, aware. Dullness is not an enemy, not a problem. It's what we work with. So in this way, we slowly get a feeling for practicing Dhamma based on mindfulness and wisdom, satipanya, and not on me and mine, not on self-view, on tuaton, on the ego. And notice how the more that the practice of Dhamma is guided by and based upon these non-personal qualities of awareness, mindfulness and wisdom, notice the result of that. There's a greater simplicity, spaciousness, less agitation, less fear. There's a naturalness, an easefulness in that. See if there can be an awareness, an appreciation of that. So we start to get an appreciation of what it feels like to practice based on self-view and what it's like to practice based on selflessness, on mindfulness and wisdom. And slowly and steadily, the heart learns to choose the way of awareness, the way of selflessness, of right view, samadhi, instead of sakaya ditti, self-view. That contrast speaks for itself. In this way, the partner to awakened awareness, in terms of emotion, is that of loving kindness, metta, a radical acceptance, friendliness towards this body, this mind, the world. We're working with our system, our life, with an attitude of friendliness, acceptance, non-contention, not fighting against the way things are, the way we are, but working with it in a kind, warm, collaborative, friendly attitude. This is the emotional tone of awareness, is a fundamental radical kindness, radical acceptance of the way things are. Kind towards dullness, towards busyness, towards confusion, agitation. And then the results of that kindness start to become clear. And the way of working with the body and the mind is founded upon this the effect, the results are very peaceful, very comfortable, easeful. So there's a working with the way things are, effort is being made, direction is being given, but it's not stressful, it's not based on conflicts, on making our mind or our body into an enemy or a problem, but working with this living system in a friendly, collaborative, kindly way. And that work guided by mindfulness and wisdom, by vicca, awakened awareness, not by me and mine, by duatong.
ขอกราบท่านอาจารย์ก่อนที่ท่านอาจารย์จะแนะนำการเดินจงกรมเป็นภาษาอังกฤษท่านอาจารย์ให้อาตมาช่วยแนะนำวิธีการเดินจงกรมสำหรับหลายท่านที่อาจจะยังเป็นผู้ใหม่อยู่ที่จริงการเดินจงกรมก็เป็นการเปลี่ยนอิริยาบถหนึ่งของการปฏิบัตินะก็เพียงแต่ว่าหลายๆอย่างก็คล้ายกับการที่เรานั่งสมาธินะเพียงแต่เราเปลี่ยนจุดเน้นนะมันเป็นอิริยาบถที่มีการเคลื่อนไหวนะเพราะฉะนั้นเวลาที่เราเคลื่อนไหวสิ่งที่เราจะเห็นได้ชัดเจนที่สุดสำหรับคนส่วนใหญ่ก็ไม่ค่อยใช่จะเป็นลมหายใจก็จะเป็นเรื่องของการเคลื่อนไหวของเท้านะสัมผัสของเท้าที่แตะพื้นเพราะการถอดรองเท้ามักจะทำให้เรากำหนดได้ชัดเจนได้มากขึ้นแต่ก็แล้วแต่บางท่านก็สวมรองเท้าได้ขณะเดินจงกรมการเดินจงกรมต่างจากการเดินคือเนื่องจากในวัดป่าก็จังหวะการเดินจงกรมก็จะแตกต่างกันออกไปบางที่ก็จะเดินช้ามากนะบางที่ก็เดินเร็วนะมีคนบอกว่าหลวงปู่มั่นเดินเร็วเหมือนกับม้าวิ่งเลยนะอาตมาก็ไม่เคยเห็นนะแต่ว่าได้ทราบว่าของหลวงตามหาบัวก็เดินไวมากนะก็เกือบจะคล้ายวิ่งแล้วที่เห็นก็แต่ของที่ทางวัดป่าที่หลวงพ่อชาเคยพาทำก็เดินด้วยจังหวะใกล้ๆปกติที่เราเดินแต่อาจจะช้ากว่านิดหน่อยนะอันนี้ก็แล้วแต่ชอบใครชอบแบบไหนจะเดินด้วยจังหวะไหนก็เลือกได้เลยนะก็สังเกตตัวเองว่าแบบไหนจะเหมาะกับตัวเองบางคนเดินเร็วแล้วสามารถมีสติได้ชัดเจนก็เดินเร็วบางคนเดินช้ากำหนดสติได้ดีก็เดินช้านี่จุดต่างของการเดินจงกรมก็อยู่กับการเดินในทั่วไปในชีวิตประจำวันตรงที่ว่าเวลาเดินในชีวิตเรามักจะมีจุดหมายมีเป้าหมายว่าเราจะเดินจากจุดหนึ่งไปยังจุดหนึ่งแล้วโดยที่ไม่รู้ตัวขณะที่เดินเราไม่อยู่กับปัจจุบันเราก็อยู่กับจุดหมายใช่ไหมอย่างเช่นเราจะเดินไปตลาดเราจะเดินไปห้องโน้นห้องนี้ตัวเรายังไม่ถึงเลยแต่ใจเราถึงโน่นแล้วอันนี้คือจุดต่างเราเดินจงกรมเราไม่ได้ไปไหนทั้งสิ้นเราเดินเพื่อที่จะเดินก็เตือนสติตัวเองอย่างนั้นแล้วขณะเดินก็กำหนดจุดคือก็เมื่อกี้คุยกับท่านอาจารย์ว่าก็เวลาเดินหาพื้นที่ซึ่งอยู่รอบบริเวณนี้ที่เราจะเดินได้ส่วนใหญ่ก็จะเดินกลับไปกลับมาหาพื้นที่ที่จะสามารถเดินกลับไปได้ประมาณสัก15 ถึง 29ก็แล้วแต่ที่อาจจะชอบ แล้วกำหนดจุดตั้งต้นว่าจุดตั้งต้นของเราอยู่ที่ไหนจุดสิ้นสุดของเราอยู่ที่ไหนนะขณะก่อนเดินตั้งสติก่อนว่าเรากำลังจะเดินนะตอนต้นแล้วพอไปถึงจุดที่สิ้นสุดการเดินก็ตั้งสติแล้วก็ค่อยๆหันตัวกลับแล้วก็เดินกลับมานะระหว่างเดินก็กำหนดสติอยู่กับการเคลื่อนไหวหรือบางท่านสามารถกำหนดสติอยู่กับลมหายใจได้ก็สามารถทำได้เช่นกัน นี่ระหว่างเดินก็แน่นอนว่าพอเราลืมตาการเคลื่อนไหวโอกาสที่จะเห็นสิ่งต่างๆแล้วคิดฟุ้งซ่านไปในเรื่องโน้นเรื่องนี้ก็เกิดขึ้นได้ง่ายขึ้นก็เป็นความท้าทายอย่างหนึ่งก็เมื่อรู้ตัวก็กลับมาอยู่กับปัจจุบันอาจจะกำหนดเพิ่มอย่างเช่นว่าถ้าเหมือนกับเผลอคิดไปทางอื่นบ่อยเผลอคิดเรื่องอดีตเรื่องอนาคตบ่อยก็กำหนดเพิ่มตรงกลางมีจุดมาร์กให้กับตัวเองว่าตรงต้นตรงกลางต้นปลายเพื่อให้รู้ตัวว่าตอนนี้เรากำลังมีสติกับปัจจุบันหรือเปล่าอันนี้ก็ลองฝึกดูแล้วถ้ามีคำถามก็ค่อยถามตอนที่ช่วงถามตอบ
So for those of you not so familiar with retreats or our style of practice, we have a sort of a balance of sitting meditation and walking meditation for the formal practice periods. There'll be 45 minutes each, roughly. And so walking meditation really has exactly the same spirit as sitting meditation, but rather than sitting still, then we use a framework of walking up and down between two determined points. So it's very rainy today, so there's lots of umbrellas. So you want to walk out in the open under an umbrella, but also many of these covered walkways, different spaces that are available here at Chaisai. But you want to determine a length of ground, about 20, maybe 25 paces long, and just say, okay, during this time, from this pillar to this tree, then I'm going to be walking, and then use a natural, gentle pace. So some styles of walking meditation are extremely slow and very, very deliberate. The style of practice in the forest tradition in Thailand is much more in accordance with the ancient way of from the time of the Buddha, which is just walking at an ordinary, natural, gentle pace. If you're just strolling in the park, not urgently trying to get somewhere, and not just being kind of hyper slow, but rather just a natural, comfortable, gentle pace. And then as you walk along, you use the rhythm of your feet as they meet the ground, that feeling of your feet as they walk along as a reference point. And again, when you find your mind distracted or carried away by the rain or by stray thoughts or feelings, then again, as I've been giving the instruction, just notice that rather than scolding yourself or being irritated or feeling you're a failed meditator, day one and you still haven't achieved perfect concentration. But to notice that distraction, feel that, and then let the awareness that the mind has been distracted be what brings the attention back to the present. And we just use that format for the walking.